Welcome back to the Alliance for Charitable Real Estate. I'm your host, Cami Baker. We have created the International Alliance for the Charitable Gifting of Real Estate to pull together all three sides of the three-legged stool, as my friend Bruce over at Realty Gift Fund refers to it. We have advisors, in our case, real estate agents, could be financial advisors or estate planners, etc., but the advisor, real estate agent, finds property owner wants tax benefits, wants to be philanthropic, wants to leave a legacy, wants to not pay capital gains tax. They say, hey, there's this thing called the charitable gifting of real estate from 1917. When you donate your property, you don't pay those taxes, and the real estate agent gets a full commission when they work through us, and the nonprofit obviously benefits. And the numbers look like this. Every year, of the 1.5 million nonprofits out there, over $400 billion is donated, but less than 2% comes from real estate because confused people do nothing. So our goal at the Alliance is to have $1 billion of real estate donated to nonprofits worldwide by 2025. Now, this is a tax law in the United States, so the properties need to be here that are being sold. But once they are donated and sold, the money can disperse anywhere in the world that a nonprofit exists. Yours happens to be in Colorado. So tell us a little bit about how much money you received from this donation and what it went to.
So we received about $84,000 in proceeds from the gift of this piece of real estate, which was a rental property that the donor had that he wanted to make a sizable legacy gift to the organization, and this was the best way that he could make that happen. And so we were able to use those funds to do a couple of things and we worked with the donor on what he wanted to see those funds go towards, and so we used them to do some research on the economic impacts of conservation in Colorado, which is really helpful to us in terms of what we do from a public policy standpoint and advocating for increased funding for conservation from both the federal and a state level. And so we were able to show that investments from a federal level have a sizable return beyond those investments, and meaning to lawmakers, policymakers, that conservation policy and funding should continue because it's a good investment from a public policy standpoint. And we were able to work with Colorado State University and their economics department to produce a series of academic research analyses that showed that impact. We were also able to invest in upgrades to infrastructure that we needed desperately. So one of our challenges as an organization was that we didn't have proper infrastructure to really know our donors, steward our donors very well. And so through this donation, we were able to upgrade some technical infrastructure that we had been wanting to do for really about 7 years, and so that was fantastic. And then we were also able to actually buy a drone. So like I said, we do conservation work. We work with our landowner partners on about 400 properties across the state of Colorado, and we're required by law to go visit those properties each year. And we now have a capability with our drone to help them take photos of their property that they may want to use for various things. We can help create better maps and do just a number of things that drone technology allows for resource managers to utilize. So we were able to do quite a bit with that gift. And there were things that were kind of lingering out there that were hard to find the amount of funding we needed to take them on. But the gift of this piece of real estate in this situation made those to-dos reality, allowed us to accomplish those to-do lists.
Well, and I'm sure you have a lot of generous folks who who do all kinds of other fundraising and awareness for you. $84,000 in one whack without renting a ballroom, without months and months and months of planning, without pulling together a committee and expenses and hiring a band or a barbecue pit, or, I mean, it's just, that's why when I learned that this was possible and that so many people just don't know about it, I knew that it was something that I really wanted to make my passion and mission, is to let people know that this is a way to get you the funds that you need. And with the 6,000 folks that you have on your list, I'll bet there are some people in there that that are already planning on maybe leaving property when they pass. But usually when somebody leaves a piece of property, because they don't know that this exists, the capital gains gets paid, other expenses are paid, and then the nonprofit gets whatever's left after Uncle Sam. But what we're suggesting is that you can do it the other way around and give more to the nonprofit.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing I would say is that to the nonprofits out there is that you shouldn't be afraid of gifts of real estate. There are groups like Realty Gift Fund that are there to help you, but even if you have to take it on yourself, there's ways to do that. And I think from a donor standpoint, it's really important that you're communicating with the nonprofits that you care about and that you're thinking about leaving gifts of real estate to, because if you're talking to them and you're planning, they can absolutely carry out your wishes in the best and most efficient manner possible. It's when I think sometimes we get surprised as a nonprofit, and we love being surprised, but it makes our job a little bit more difficult in terms of how we carry out that donor's wishes. But if we have that time to plan, and so as people out there that may be listening to this that have included nonprofits in their estate plans, and particularly around property, and you haven't let that nonprofit know, I'd encourage you to let them know and begin the process of conversations about what you would like to see happen. And to all the nonprofits out there, I think you generally would be silly not to include gifts of real estate. Yes, they take on, there is some added risk, but there's organizations, again, like Realty Gift Fund that are established to reduce that risk. And there are many attorneys and realtors and other professionals out there that are there to help you through that process. And so I think we just need to educate people, as you said, Cami, on this, and this tool exists and how to do it effectively.
Well, here at the Alliance, that's exactly what our goal is. It's to provide those vetted resources and relationships and education and certification to the visionary leaders and the business owners and the property owners, so that they know that this is even a possibility. Having been involved myself in dozens of car shows and golf tournaments and fundraisers and raffles, and I mean, you name it, as a business person, as a networker, as a real estate agent, as a network marketer, I can't even count how many. And this is just so much easier. Frankly, it's less risk, because if you're having a ballroom dance and somebody falls down or hurts themselves, there's liability there. But with this, there really is no liability when you have the right facilitating nonprofit like Realty Gift Fund. Now, when you went through the whole process, as you mentioned, there was a little bit of a lag in time because something was going on with the contract. It had nothing to do with you, nothing you had to handle. But what was your experience like working with Realty Gift Fund?
Hassle-free is the simplest way to put it. We, from the time the donor made the commitment to make the gift until the time that the proceeds arrived, we had very little to do except continue to carry on the mission of the organization. So we continue to focus on the things that we're good at, the things we need our staff focusing on. Realty Gift Fund was out there handling the transactional details. And as you know, from your days of real estate transactions, things always happen in a real estate transaction that slow down the timelines that you're working on. And realty gift funds well equipped to handle those based on their experiences. And they do a great job of communicating to the land trust. Well, in my case, the land trust, but to the nonprofit about where things are in the process. And so I can't speak highly enough about our situation and the experience that we had with them. They did a tremendous job, and the donor's happy, we're happy, and I think Realty Gift Fund was happy at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I love about this. These transactions are win, win, win all the way around. Real estate agent isn't needing to do some heavy commission negotiating. Realty Gift Fund gives them full commission. The donor gets what they want, the tax write-off and the philanthropic good feeling in their heart. And the nonprofits get the funding that they need for whatever mission they're on. So thank you, Erik Glenn, for being on the show with us today. You are listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection, 97.9 FM, WUTY979FM.org, and on our Facebook. I am Cami Baker, the founder of the Alliance, and we are thrilled to have Realty Gift Fund as our partner, and we look for other allies to be our partner in the charitable gifting of real estate, whether you're a business owner, a real estate professional, a visionary leader, a property owner, a nonprofit. If this is something you've never heard of and you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to us. And if you've had misconceptions put in your ear about it, reach out to us too, because as you can hear from our guest today, it's a simple process. You just need to have the right people in the right wheelhouses doing what they do best and refer the rest. See you on the next show. Bye.